to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The only announcement we have this month is that it's daylight savings time on March 12th, and everyone's clock is going ahead. Public safety, Frank, do you want to give us a report?
Just briefly, there were 6 incident reports for the last 30 days, 2 building violations, 2 suspicious incidences, burglar alarm, and 1 miscellaneous information. There were no summonses issued for the last 30 days. There were 5 warnings for parking, 2 quality of life warnings issued. We've handled 11 house checks for residents and 5 special event requests. Officer DeBella resigned from the village in March, and we're requesting that the board approve the resolution to hire Officer Brett Battenberg.
Thank you. Arda, give us a report? No. Everyone got a copy of the balance sheet and the trial balance. We do still have a few outstanding taxpayers. And, you know, just looking at these, we're still holding our own. We're going to finish with a positive fund balance. So that's going to help with our budgeting process also.
We have 7 pay periods left, but
Right.
even with that amount of money, we're not gonna.
No, we're not going to.
That's good.
Okay. Joe, you have anything?
I just wanted to know, not that we haven't gone over, except there's one thing I wanted to mention to you. Once or twice a year for the village, I assist the village in declaring a state of emergency, and I prepare the form that's necessary to do the notification. I just, it might be also a good idea to put, don't have to read the form, but maybe something on a banner on the website, you know, and I'm just mentioning that.
I put it on the notices, but I can put it like on the front page and then click on it.
Yeah, maybe like a banner.
Okay.
So, I'd be happy to, assist you in that if you needed.
Okay.
Cause I mean, if you lose your electricity or something like that, I'm in a place with, probably in a place with electricity. Yeah. Or whatever it is, something like that.
Okay, good evening. So our stormwater permit under this State Pollution Discharge Elimination System program, the New York State DEC, annual report was put in this week. It's a continuation of many of the procedures that we're using to abate pollution into our surface water bodies and our groundwaters. It contains attachments demonstrating our continued efforts for education with the emails you've been sending out and we've been posting, website enhancements and upgrades, notifications, community outreach section, which includes the harbor study we did, the DEC meeting, and the meeting with the Sonoma Harbor Task Force that we had with the DEC. Illicit discharge detection, all the violations as noted by Frank, maintenance and all of our maintenance of all of our stormwater dry wells and effluent transmission systems, and the construction monitoring work that we do both pre, during, and post-construction. As you know, we've recently been updating the building permit to reflect our new stormwater pollution prevention plan. I'm going to get a copy of that over to the planning department. I've submitted it to you guys first for review. So if it's okay for that, then I'll send them a copy of it this way they know what's in it and get some comments from them. And that would be version 11 of the building permit. So that was recently sent out for comment. All of the changes and everything that we've compiled for stormwater since its inception and our initial permit was received from the department are in Village Hall. And there's hard copies available if anyone wants to review it, but posted the stormwater pollution prevention plan and the stormwater management plan on the website, and the annual reports on the website as well.
Last year during the non-hurricane year, I was down at the California Park 2 years ago. Thank you. I noticed that the porta potty was relatively close to the, do we have a procedure in there of getting it pumped out or something?
It gets
Is it
pumped out every
Yeah,
week, doesn't it?
they take it away.
Twice a week.
Twice a week. Oh, okay.
Pumped out or take it away like in the butcher store.
an approaching storm, if there's an issue. I mean, if it's full, we don't wanna report it, we don't
Right,
want
well,
sewage
as you know,
spill.
that August 4th storm kind of came up unexpectedly. We had about 30 seconds warning, so
Yes.
there's not much you can do in that case. But in the event there was going to be a full-blown hurricane, I think
So there
we
is
could either have it removed or, I think that's gotta be a flowing thing, because depending on what we're gonna get, when it's, snowstorm probably not, but a hurricane.
Well,
That warrants
I just don't want it to be forgotten about
Yeah.
when the storm comes. Is there
Good
something
idea. It's not in that plan, that's not what that plan is for. We have an emergency preparedness plan, and it prompts us all to think about each of our departments, whether it's roads or anyone, to think about what their efforts might be.
Those things spill, right? If you're not.
No, they're designed, they're not supposed to, but if they're really overfull and they're not maintained, they will spill.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because they fall over construction sites all the time, they don't release. But if you don't service it, which we do service it, if you don't service it, you're gonna have a spill.
So if we do service it, is it necessary for us to insert it into emergency preparedness?
I think it just ends up being like a floatable, like any of our plastic things
Well,
that
right,
end up
but
at the beach, right?
Well,
I mean,
we have to find
I think it's a good
water
idea.
lines
I mean,
for
if there's an event, I think we should have a pole. If there's gonna be a storm, at least the ones at the water. Seems reasonable.
Thank you.
Public comments?
I was on the state comptroller's website regarding the paperwork, I guess, for the audit that was filed last year, and the most recent one, and it showed that, I don't remember if it was Social Security, but one of the very definitive taxes was not paid. And I can email it to you, but I would like to ask, your company, or I don't remember your first name, file that audit, or did the prior company do that?
I'm not with the auditing company, I'm just the treasurer for the village.
Okay, so who files that paperwork with the state comptroller?
The auditors do, the CPA firm.
Okay.
But I was not aware of any unpaid tax, so I
Yeah, it showed that. I mean, it could be an error, but that's an error that needs to be corrected.
I'll look into it.
yeah.
Any other comments?
John Lane, Van Brunt Manor. I notice in the financial report that there's nothing shown for CHIPS expense or revenue received. You intend to use some of that capability this year?
Yes, we're planning to use it on the project to redo the drains over on Chestnut and Walnut
And approximately when will that be done?
in the spring.
Also, I noticed that you've spent about $6,000 more than received in revenue for the forestry grant. How are you going to make up that difference?
Well, we're ahead of budget right now by $152,000, so I don't think that's gonna be an issue.
Well, the 152 being ahead right now doesn't mean much because you haven't completed the whole year. But anyway, what was the previous tax cap limit before it was just reduced?
It was 2%?
It was 2%, then went to 1.6,
.076.
right, 1.76.
No, .076.
0.076.
0.076?
Yeah.
Well, this is an increase then, not a decrease. 0.076, it's 1.151 now? Well, that's not a decrease, that's an increase, right?
It started out at 2% when he started this whole program. So
Oh,
every time he cuts it down, it makes it harder for us to.
fine, but in the year, in the ensuing year, it's an increase. Okay, well, that's been very misleading to us here.
My new-
The cap has been increased this year. Thank you.
It's a question about the stop sign on Washington Street. Is it a seasonal stop sign?
It is. We had residents that made comments that they felt in the bad weather, they weren't gonna be able to stop going uphill, so we made a suggestion that we would cover it, and, they seemed to agree with that, so we covered it.
Okay, but it's not covered currently. It hasn't.
No, it's ripped
covered
off.
in about a week. So it's very, I'm asking because every morning I make a right from Walnut onto Washington. And I don't know if the car coming up the street, it has to stop or not. It's very confusing. And there's a half of a garbage bag hanging from it now. Maybe there would be some kind of other way to cover it besides a garbage bag.
Yeah, we could order a cover and use it during the winter months so that it's more permanent and stays on there.
Okay, that would be great, and if also we could have some kind of notice as to what the season is, as to when the stop sign is supposed to be active, as opposed to when the stop sign's not active, that would be very helpful.
I'd like to make a comment about that. I don't know how other people feel about it. I kind of thought that was, well, let's see if this is gonna work. It was kind of trial. And my thinking is that this has created more confusion
It's
than
incredibly
it's
confusing, absolutely.
And even when it was proposed, I just thought, what's the big deal? If you're driving in some neighborhood and all of a sudden it gets slippery, you're gonna deal with it. You're gonna roll through a stop sign. I mean, it's not gonna change anything. I think that the downside has outstripped the upside if there was one. So I personally would like to propose that we just do away with that whole thing and see how it goes. I mean, it's common sense. If you're in slippery conditions, you're going to adjust, and maybe you're not going to stop all the way at the stop sign going uphill.
I don't think code would sit down there and ever.
They're not there.
issue
They can't do
we don't
anything.
have-
Summons anyway.
We
They
don't
can't.
have somebody at the stop sign the whole time saying, I'm watching you every second. It's designed to serve a general purpose of slowing things down. Things change in a snowstorm. I mean, it's just not.
We don't have to get the number, we could just leave it.
I just don't think we need to address it. We have a stop sign, everybody knows where it is. Most of the time, the weather allows you to stop and then start going. If all of a sudden you find yourself in a snowstorm, I have confidence that if you have a valid New York State driver's license, you're gonna make it through. It's just too confusing. That black bag was, I pulled the rest of it off, but it's still, it's not
Get it.
Yeah, I was wondering if someone just threw the bag on there because they didn't
They
like the
did.
stop sign. I had no clue whether
No,
or
we had
not.
talked about it.
Code put the bag on.
Anyway, let's
Let's take it off,
and then
we'll
see what
forget about it.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Okay, we'll start the resolutions. Resolution 03, 2017-1.